don't have our logo up in the back. So who's Troy? Right on.
His email handle
Oh,
is,
I hears him.
I hear him too.
his email handle is Big Boss. When Elon's comes.
Oh, boy. Oh, we're the art change. We're on community service and recreation. Just jumped the list. Dominic won't be joining us tonight.
Who?
Dominic.
Oh, no.
We'll have a little conversation after you.
Is he okay?
Yeah, 'cause I don't want to talk.
Good. So they should be. Good for him.
Do you hear me now? It sounds like he's on your phone. Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Welcome
Hello,
to
hello.
the 72nd, 73rd.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah,
forget
can we-
that. It's one extra.
Yeah, you always do. We do.
Okay.
Yeah, we're close. So we're what? We're live. Can you? Would be nice to know. Not impressed with that, but anyway, we'll start. Pardon me? Yeah, we don't go live until we're ready around the council table. Hayward, can you hear us?
yeah.
Okay, Bert,
Well,
are
I
you
hear
online?
lots of stuff.
Is Bert online? Okay.
Oh, yes.
Okay, good enough. We're going to get ready to start now. And folks, apologize. Of course, we're having our regular difficulties with the Facebook Live process. So are you ready to go now? Yes. Okay, thank you. All right, so welcome to the 73rd council meeting of the 13th elected Town Council of Happy Valley Goose Bay. Just remind councillors if they could speak into their microphone. And I will ask if there are any delegations. I was told there was going to be one, but I don't see that particular individual here.
No.
Yes, he called this afternoon wanting to call in, but we got no way to call in for delegates.
Okay.
And we don't normally do that or allow that. It happened only during COVID.
Sure. Okay. All right. So we don't have any delegates?
No.
Okay. All right. So before...
Gallery.
Pardon me?
Welcome the gallery.
Yes. Well, we have two folks in our... One of us our staff members, and welcome Mr. Amel to our council meeting this evening. All right. So you have before you an agenda for the 73rd council meeting. I will ask for a motion to adopt the agenda as presented. Moved by Deputy Mayor Wallace.
Second.
Seconded by Councillor Compton Hobbs. Discussion? Okay, all those in favor indicate with aye.
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 Okay, and contrary-minded? We've accepted our agenda. All right, so delegations, we have none. Before you have the 72nd minutes of the previous council meeting on February 24th. So I'll ask for a motion to accept them.
Sure.
Okay, moved by Deputy Mayor Wallace, seconded by Councillor Winters. Any discussion? Okay, none heard. All those in favor indicate with aye. Aye.
Aye.
Contrary-minded? Passed. And I will make a note that Councillor Brumfield is joining us this evening by telephone, and we're still awaiting to see if Councillor Pomeroy, who's traveling, will be joining us as well. All right, correspondence we have. We do have some correspondence from from the MP, Yvonne Jones. It was in reference to our Labrador Legacy Fund. I did have it sent to to council. Didn't get any. I didn't get any feedback from anybody, and just like to just if everybody gets a chance, if you can, have a look at it. It deals with a plan for a Labrador Legacy Fund as a result of the Upper Churchill project. So if you get a chance or have any comments or commentary, we'd like to get a. We'd like to be able to come up with a plan to either support or just move along. There was another item I thought I saw. It was in relation to. It was in relation to municipal affairs, and it sent some new information in relation to the towns and local service district. Right? I'm looking at it here. Just passed motions at council, and states some requirements now with the new act that's been passed, and some regulations pertaining to both the town council meeting rules and procedures, as well as some instruction in terms of special meeting and dates and things along that lines. So that is the correspondence that I have. Is there anything else that anybody else has? Okay. All right, so let's move into, we did have a committee of the whole meeting on the Tuesday, March the 11th. So it'll be a little bit of a different format this evening. We're still going to go through the committees. And the first committee is Community Planning and Development. And I'll pass the floor to Councillor Rumbold.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, I was just lamenting before we began our meeting that the format is a little different, so please bear with me. So the Community Planning and Development Committee met as part of the Committee of a Whole on Tuesday, March the 11th. The meeting was called to order. We reviewed our outstanding action items, of which there were 3. And any updates that were relevant were discussed at that time. We had an update on the monthly permit and compliance letters. We had no deferred Crown land applications. At that point, we had 5 new Crown land applications. No applications for discretionary land use or variances. Under other business and new business, we discussed councillors brought forward their concerns about residents bringing to their attention some potentially unregistered businesses throughout the municipality. And we had a committee of the whole discussion in regards to the Access E11. You will hear that mentioned numerous times in our council meetings. And so what we did is, while we were in the committee of the whole, I took the concerns that had been brought forward to myself and other councillors, and we actually entered them during that meeting into the Access E11. I'm pleased to say that we received a response back the next day from the engineering tech with updates. So I can't say that, you know, it was an immediate resolution, but again, we need to reiterate to residents that things can't be fixed unless they are known about. So when we have residents that may have concerns, or if you're looking at starting a new business, home-based business, anything at all, we have staff here at the town hall that have a wealth of knowledge and will set you on the right track as to setting up your home-based business. So it's something that we don't just encourage, it is mandatory to register your businesses. So, but I encourage everybody to reach out and ask the questions so that we can make sure that everything is done in the way it's meant to be. I didn't personally note any other new business or discussion other than making sure that we got everybody on the right track there. And after that, we moved into the next committee report. So I don't have an adjournment, I don't have times, but I would like to submit my committee report as presented.
Thank you, Councillor Rumbold. So it's moved by Councillor Rumbold and the Community Planning and Development Committee that we accept the report as she has presented. Seconded by? I'll take Councillor Winters. I saw him first. Thank you, sir. Any discussion?
The only thing, sorry, Mayor, I didn't mention is that after we had our new applications, we do have recommendations to follow.
Yes, I was coming to that next. Okay. Any further discussion? Okay, none being heard. All those in favor of accepting the report as presented indicate with aye. Aye.
Aye.
Contrary-minded? Passed. All right, and you do have recommendations.
I do, thank you. My first one, Crown Lands Application 163589. The Community Planning and Development Committee recommends that Council provide no objection to Crown Lands Application 163589, located at Burnt Point, on the condition that future development complies with the town's development regulations.
Okay, it's moved by Councillor Rumbold and CPD Committee that Council have no objection to Crown Lands Application 163589. Seconded by? Deputy Mayor Wallace. Discussion. Okay, none being heard. All those in favor indicate with aye. Aye.
Aye.
Contrary-minded? Passed.
Okay, my next one, Crown Lands Application 163593. The Community Planning and Development Committee recommends that Council provide objection to Crown Lands Application 163593, located at 647 Trans-Labrador Highway, as its proximity to an existing quarry would have a negative impact on resource exploration and development within the resource zone.
Okay, it's moved by Councillor Rumbold and the CPD Committee that Council provide objection to Crown Lands Application 163593 for the given reason. Seconded by? Okay. Deputy Mayor Wallace. Not much movement here tonight. Discussion. Okay.
Just for clarity, Mayor, just wanted to let people know that this has been something that we have been working on for quite some time so that we can have a healthy balance between seasonal recreational cottages and quarries. And so the fact that the council has provided objection is because we need to make sure that we're doing everything in the best interest of our resource and our residents. And so this doesn't mean that once this regulation is all ironed out, that somebody could apply again.
Sure. Further discussion? Okay, all those in favor indicate with aye. Aye. Contrary-minded?
Aye.
Thank you, Councillor from Brumfield. All right, so it's approved that I always get the approve and the objection is always backwards for me. All right, next one, please.
My third one, Crown Lands Application 163599. The Community Planning and Development Committee recommends Council provide no objection to Crown Lands Application 163599, located at 9 Markland Road, on the condition that future development complies with the town's development regulations.
Okay, moved by Councillor Rumbold, CPD Committee. The Council provide no objection to Crown Lands Application 163599. Seconded by?
I'll second.
Councillor Compton Hobbs. Discussion? Okay, none being heard. All those in favor indicate with aye. Aye.
Aye.
Contrary-minded? Passed. Next one, please.
Crown Lands Application 163749. The Community Planning and Development Committee recommends that Council provide objection to Crown Lands Application 163749, located at 19 St. Laurent Street, as the property is zoned open spaces, trails, and parks.
Okay, moved by Councillor Rumbold, the CPD Committee, that we provide objection to Crown Lands Application 163749. Seconded by? Councillor Winters. Discussion? Okay, and I think just as a note here, when a property is zoned the OSTP process, there's certain things that are allowed and certain things that aren't allowed, and I think this would fit in under the not allowed, but whereas the Crown Lands application, at this stage the only process we have is to provide objection to that application. Any further?
Oh.
Sorry.
Sorry. The superintendent of public works has also advised in the past that there are utilities in the ground and above the ground in that area that belong to the town.
Okay. Yep. Okay. Thank you. Further discussion? Okay, all those in favor with providing an objection, indicate with aye. Aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded? Passed. Next one, please.
Thank you. My final one, Crown Lands application 163643. The Community Planning and Development Committee recommends council provide no objection to Crown Lands application 163643, located at 9 Quarry Road, on the condition that future development complies with the town's development regulations.
Okay, moved by Councillor Rumbold and the CPD Committee that council provide no objection excuse me, to Crown Lands application excuse me, 163643. Seconded by
I'll second.
Councillor Compton Hobbs, seconds. Discussion? Okay, none being heard. All those in favor indicate with aye. Aye. Contrary minded?
Aye.
Passed.
Mayor, I'm sorry, I have one more, and the additional motions that I missed.
Floor is yours.
So, my final one is Crown Lands application 163774, Burnt Point. The Community Planning and Development Committee recommends council provide no objection to Crown Lands application 163774, located at Burnt Point, on the condition that future development complies with the town's development regulations.
Okay, moved by Councillor Rumbold and CPD Committee that council provides no objection to Crown Lands application 163774, located at Burn Point. Seconded by Deputy Mayor Wallace. Discussion. We'll just ask a question. How come this wasn't included in our committee of the whole?
Yes, Mayor, this came in just a couple of days ago, and the thing is, Crown Lands are now enforcing their 30-day time limit, and you can actually get 7 days extra. So if we had to wait for the next public council meeting, the default to Crown Lands would be no objection.
Okay. Yeah.
So we had to have it either done this or call a
Yeah.
special meeting.
Yeah, I read that note. I'm just wondering if that was the reason why it was. All right. Any further discussion? All those in favor indicate with aye. Aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded? Passed. I just have one question. Is it possible for us to delegate our discretionary approval for examples like this, like say Burn Point, where it's already an established cabin area, and other places where it's a cabin area? Is it possible for us to delegate our discretion in that? I'm looking at either one.
I will defer to the CAO on that, and as
Okay.
to what the legality is with the Municipalities Act.
I lost you there.
Okay, we had a technical issue with our counselor online. He's back now.
Okay.
But I was just asking him, is it possible for us to delegate our authority in terms of discretionary use so that cabins that are already in existing cabin lots, especially the objection side of stuff, I mean, is it possible, like take Burn Point, if somebody wants to establish a cabin on, an established cabin area, or Wilburn Bay, for instance. We're not approving it at this point. We're only just we're a referral, right, from Crown Lands. Is that possible? Do you know?
Check it out.
Okay, that'd be good, because we spend a lot of time, both in committee of the whole and here council, debating those issues, and I've never seen a cabin, or seasonal cottage, I guess is the term, seasonal residence. So, all right. That's it for you,
That is
Councilor
it for
Rumble?
me, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, all right. All right, moving down the list, we'll go into Community Services and Recreation is next on the agenda, and Councillor Winters.
Thank you, Mayor. Here's the March 2025 Council Report. Action items, there's only one current action item, is the soccer complex soccer pitch, or Mealy Mountain Soccer Complex soccer pitch. CSR Department's goal is to have the pitch ready for the 2025 season. That is continued into new business. Under new business, Recanal Practitioners Forum. Discussion surrounded Happy Valley Goose Bay hosting Recanal event. Recommendation to follow. Sport complex. CSR Director provided information outlining the issues with the soccer pitch, key considerations and options moving forward. Committee agreed that just rolling out the field is not a long-term solution, and agreed that it needs to be included in the strategic plan of the department and look at options provided by the director to be considered at budget time in October. There was also discussion regarding building tennis courts, as they are identified as the next possible addition to the complex, as it is the least amount of cost regarding basic infrastructure required that would have the most impact towards completing the complex. CSR Director has information previously gathered that will be provided at the next meeting. Other business and discussion. Active NL Fund application. Chair stated that the Active NL funding application deadline is March 31st and could possibly be used towards the support of either resurfacing Husky Park and/or assist with the surface at the sports complex soccer pitch. CSR Director will submit application prior to deadline. Number 2, preparation for the 2026 Labrador Winter Games. Chair requested all costs be provided to the committee regarding all town costs associated with hosting the 2023 games. This will determine how the town moves forward with the Labrador Winter Games Board. Number 3 was arena scoreboard. Chair added to the discussion the purchasing of a new scoreboard for the E.J. Bloomfield Memorial Arena. Chair requested the CSR Director reach out to the major user groups, minor hockey, minor soccer, and take the lead regarding the discussion, included where possible corporate sponsorships, and that the town should take the lead as it is a town-owned facility, and it would be a great addition to our main hosting facility. Number 4, overview of CSR responsibilities. Chair requested information regarding responsibilities regarding the amount of work regarding CSR summer staff, mainly the grass cutting, as there are over 1 million square foot of grass cutting required. CSR Director stated this will be a part of the department's plan for summer staffing moving forward. There being no further business, please accept report as presented, and I have one recommendation to follow.
Thank you, sir. Moved by Councillor Winters and the CSR Committee that we accept his report as presented. Seconded by Deputy Mayor Wallace. Discussion. Okay, none heard. All those in favour of accepting the report as presented, indicate with aye. Aye.
Aye.
Contrary-minded? Passed. Your recommendation, sir?
Thank you, Mayor. Recreation NL Practitioner Forum. The Community Services and Recreation Committee recommends Council present a letter at the 2025 RecNL Conference stating their interest and expectations that RecNL host a Practitioners Forum in Happy Valley Goose Bay.
Okay, it's moved by Councillor Winters and the CSR Committee that we present a letter at the 2025 RecNL Conference stating our interest and expectation that we host a Practitioners Forum in Happy Valley Goose Bay. Seconded by Councillor Rumbold. Discussion. I think it's great. Anytime we get a chance to bring people into town, it's economic development. It means another body in a bed and meals and things like that done. So I think that's good. 100% effort.
Yeah, I think this is a provincial-wide one. Usually, from I recall back in when I was in my former position, Happy Valley Goose Bay would host a regional forum. So hopefully, if we get this, hopefully we can start up with Don back, or sorry, our Community Recreation Service Director back in with RecNL. Hopefully we can have our regional meetings again, which would be all of Labrador, again, hopefully hosted every November, along with the provincial one.
Yep, great. Nope, networking, sharing ideas is the way forward. Any other discussion? Okay, all those in favor indicate with aye. Aye.
Aye.
Contrary-minded? Passed. Thank you, sir. All right, so let's move into finance, admin, and policy. And are you doing that one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We'll pass the floor to Deputy Mayor Wallace.
Thank you, Mayor. The Finance, Admin, and Policy Committee met as part of Council of the Whole. I was going to read it all again. It's a habit, isn't it? Alrighty. The agenda, approval of the agenda was reviewed, previous minutes and action items with no errors or omissions noted. New business, we had a letter of support request from the Grand River Snowmobile Club. And a recommendation for that will be following. Submitting on a proposal to funding agencies, ACOA and NL government, the plan on several marketing initiatives, market readiness and branding, consistent production of marketing videos, production on distribution of cards for various groups, and guide training. So that will be following into the recommendations. Another item on the agenda was the arrears sales by law. The collection of outstanding town taxes under the old Municipalities Act involved very technical legal processes. involving the expenses of lawyers. The new Towns and Local Services District Act makes it mandatory for towns in the province to adopt several bylaws dealing with this process. All of the process we followed before, such as sending out invoices, monthly statements, letters requesting payments, and notice requirements are still to be followed. However, instead of commencing legal action in court, we now have to establish a procedure for public auctions when selling real property. A recommendation for that is to follow shortly. The tourist accommodation tax bylaw was discussed in great length, and that will be deferred for all of council to discuss at a later date. Meeting adjourned, and the next meeting is scheduled to follow at April 11th with 3 recommendations to follow. Please accept this as the Finance Committee report as having been read.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Wallace. So it's moved by Deputy Mayor Wallace and the Finance and Minute Policy Committee that we accept the report as was presented. Seconded by? Bless you. Seconded by? Councillor Winters?
Actually, apologies, Mayor, may I add something there? I've forgotten to add, if I can, and it may mean we'll have to go through that process, which we just did again. There are a couple other business items that were in the meeting that I didn't mention there, like the not-for-profit organizations we discussed, getting a list of those, and the 2024 annual expenditure report. The town's auditor completed those by the end of March. Is that still on skid? Wonderful. So that's to be completed by the end of March. And the 2023 financial audit, the preparations of the working papers to be ready by for the auditor. That's on skid as well. Wonderful.
Perfect. Okay, so I guess we'll accept, because it is in line with what it is, we can accept a friendly amendment to that motion if Councillor Winters is in acceptance of the seconder. Okay.
Thank you.
So we'll add those 2 additional items, or 3 additional items that she spoke about. All right, any discussion? All those in favor indicate with aye. Aye.
Aye.
Contrary-minded? Passed. And you have 3 recommendations?
I do, thank you. First one we have, the Grand River Snowmobile Club Tourism Letter of Support. The Finance, Administration and Policy Committee recommends Council provide a letter of support to the Grand River Snowmobile Club to attach to their funding proposal to ACOA and the province.
Okay, moved by Deputy Mayor Wallace and Finance and Minute Policy Committee that we recommend, or we provide a letter of support to the Grand River Snowmobile Club to attach to their funding proposal. Seconded by? Seconded by Councillor Winters. Discussion? Okay, none heard. All those in favor indicate with aye. Aye.
Aye.
Contrary-minded? Passed. Next one, please.
Thank you. The arrears sales by law. The Finance, Administration and Policy Committee recommends Council adopt the arrears sales by law as presented.
Okay, it's moved by Deputy Mayor Wallace and the FAP Committee that we adopt the arrears sales bylaw as presented. Seconded by Councillor Winters. Discussion. Deputy Mayor.
With the arrears sales bylaws, the description of this will be in the package, so if anyone wants to refer to that, they can.
Where, for, yeah.
So the process is, once council adopts it, then it gets gazetted.
Come closer to your mic, please. Thank you, because you're low voice. There you go.
Yes, sorry. Once council adopts the bylaws, then it goes to the King's printer to be gazetted. Once it's gazetted, it becomes in effect. And at that point, we will publish it on our website and have a notice put out to the public stating that we have adopted these new bylaws.
And the gazetting process is roughly how long?
It depends on the times. They publish every week. So if they have enough space and time, they will get it in every Friday, sorry. So if they get it in time, they'll have it in this Friday. If not, it'll be in next Friday if council passes the motion.
Okay.
Great, thanks.
Excuse me. Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor indicate with aye. Aye.
Aye.
Contrary-minded? Passed. Okay, third one you have?
Yeah, I have one more, thank you.
Okay.
Council meetings and publications. The Finance, Administration and Policy Committee recommends Council approve the attached schedule for regular monthly town council meetings for the 2025 calendar year, in accordance with Section 39 of the Towns and Local Service District Act.
Okay, moved by Deputy Mayor Wallace and the FAP Committee that council approve the regular monthly meeting schedule for 2025 in accordance with the new Act, Section 39 of the new Towns and Local Service District Act. Seconded by?
I'll second.
Okay, Councillor Compton Hobbs. Discussion? Okay, none being heard. All those in favor indicate with aye.
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 Contrary-minded? Passed. Thank you. All right, we'll move into municipal services.
Sorry, Mayor, can I just ask a quick question?
You sure can ask a quick question?
I'm just wondering, because in our package,
Yeah.
on page 112, there's another FAP recommendation, but it's not on our stuff here today. Is that an informational one only? I'm looking
Do you wanna ask,
at staff.
I'll ask the
You
CAO.
guys seeing what I'm seeing? Page 111, sorry. You see it?
Summary recommendations.
This one here. There's a briefing note.
That was discussed at committee of the whole, and it's referenced in the committee of the whole minutes.
Okay, but that one wasn't supposed to have a recommendation. Correct. Okay, perfect. That was my question. Thank you.
Okay, that was a easy one to fix. All right, we'll move into municipal services. And the floor to the Chair of Municipal Services.
Who is
Says
not
Who's
mentioned?
not-
Conroy,
He's not here tonight.
apparently his flight must have been delayed,
Okay,
so he's not able to connect.
okay, so,
Yeah, can't present when you're not here.
yeah, you can't
So who
present
else
this.
is on the committee?
Myself? Let's go.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor.
Hang on.
The floor is yours. There's no
Yeah.
recommendation, so.
Yeah, there is.
Oh, yeah, no, is
In
it?
the additional.
Oh, on the add-on, right.
Oh, it's an add-on.
One on,
It's just one.
okay.
Yeah, but I need the package.
Do you have it?
I want to find the minutes.
Do you have it? Here.
The minutes.
Just sit, you go up a bit there, so.
Page 21.
Your touchscreen?
Oh. There you go. 2 fingers.
I got it zoomed up there. You're on 131. Did you say page 21?
Page 21 of the package. It's the committee of the whole minutes.
Keep your 2 fingers together.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
So, the Municipal Services Committee met at the Council of the Whole, and prior to the meeting, we don't go through the
Who's
the
there now?
attendees and so forth.
No.
I don't have it there. Sorry.
You got it?
No, my apologies.
Right here.
I'll just scroll
You
here.
want one?
Yes, can't do it too. My apologies.
You
everyone.
with
Not
little,
touchscreen.
you with little technology.
Got it. We met, of course, with that, with the new business, we have an active transportation fund, the AVN, was provided explaining the background and proposed projects that may be considered under the program. The committee agreed to have the Director of Engineering make an application under the Active Transportation Fund, and however, the motion of council is not required. The Director will proceed with the application. Electric bus, the committee has asked for an update on the electric bus. CIO advised that there will be no real changes and that the plan is still to go ahead with the launch in late spring. With there being no other business, please accept this as the report is having been read. We have one recommendation.
Okay, thank you. So it's moved by Deputy Mayor Wallace and the Municipal Services Committee that we accept the report as is presented. Seconded by Councillor Rumble. And thank you for sharing your laptop.
Yes, thank you.
Any discussion?
Just on that one, in that committee, we discussed the electric bus, because everyone in the community wants to know what's going on with the bus, so I asked for an update in the committee of the whole meeting during municipal services. And I'm told that the bus will be rolling out sometime in May, that it took 12 or 15 weeks to set up the programs on the bus. And so anybody out there listening, pass it on, because I've been asked many, many times, probably like the rest of the council, where's the bus? What's happening with it? When is it going to be in service? So I'm told that in May, this bus will be on the road in service. So stay tuned.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor indicate with aye. Aye.
Aye.
Contraminded? Passed. Your recommendation, please.
Thank you. Loring Drive and Grenfell Street reconstruction. The Municipal Services Committee recommends that prime consultant agreement be signed with Harborside Engineering Group in the amount of $82,771.25, subject to the approval of the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure at the Department of Municipal and Provincial Affairs.
Okay, moved by Deputy Mayor Wallace and the Municipal Services Committee that council sign an agreement with Harborside Engineering Group in the amount of $82,771.25, and of course that's subject to approval of Department of T&I and Municipal Affairs. Seconded by Councillor Winters. Discussion?
I'd like to ask the engineer a question.
Pardon me?
Ask another
Oh yes, absolutely.
Yeah, this is for Grenfell. That's going from the intersection just past RBC, or is it the whole street?
Grenfell right now at the time is scheduled to go up as far as the post office, RBC, that area. I guess it all depends on the tenders also, because we had to incorporate the intersection upgrade at the same time.
Yes, definitely.
So, yeah, it depends on the tenders. If we can get a bit further, well, so be it. We'll go further with if the funds allow it.
All right, thank you.
Okay, any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor indicate with aye. Aye.
Aye.
Contraminded? Passed. All right, moving right along, we move into protective services. And Councillor Compton House.
All right, we, Protective Services, met on March 11th during the Committee of the Whole meeting. We reviewed the minutes. There was no errors or omissions. We went through the action items. One action item that we've been following for a long time is the moving violation for the municipal enforcement officer. And this is a very, very slow process. We've been communicating with MHA Perry Trimper, Minister of Justice. It's back and forth, but it's certainly been dragged out and no clear direction at our last update. So, you know, hopefully we can get some movement on this file. Under new business, we discussed a municipal emergency management plan. And again, this is with the new Towns and Local Service District Act. Bylaws need to be developed where policies once existed in an emergency plan. Needs to be approved through the council every 3 years. So I'll be bringing a recommendation forward on that one. We talked about the fireworks bylaw, and what we agreed, the committee, during the Committee of the Whole, was to have a separate meeting with all of council and possibly involve the public with some public consultation, whether it's through survey. So we're still working on the details on the fireworks bylaw. We talked about the Newfoundland naloxone program. And so both our MEO and our Director of Protective Services have received training on the naloxone kits. And we discussed Newfoundland Health Services are looking for different organizations and groups and in towns in the province. So we discussed the town office being a site to hand out naloxone kits. You know, there's an increase in drugs, and you know, this is harm reduction. So we had that discussion, and we all agreed that night that the town office could be a site, a potential site, with our 2 employees that now are trained on naloxone kits. The community safety plan, our Director of Protective Services continues to work with Charlene Simmons and Gina Decker, and in the coming months, hopefully we'll see a community safety plan in place. And that we discussed the 2025 security contract, which I'm gonna bring forward as a recommendation. And I just wanted to put out there the numbers for the RCMP. There's still an issue with the transient population in the community, and every month I read my report in the past few months, several months, the numbers have always been up. So the calls that the RCMP received for February were 455, and 1 year ago it was 417. So the numbers are still up. So there's still lots of, activity happening in our community that's, that's concerning. And with our complaint line 3322, we received 64 calls. So again, there's still concerning activity happening. These 64 calls to the town could be dogs or whatever, but the numbers from the police RCMP occurrences are definitely up, which is concerning, which is why we need to talk about a 2025 security contract once again. And other than that, our next meeting is scheduled for March the 11th, so I ask that you please accept my report as read.
Thank you, Councillor Compton-Hobbs. Moved by Councillor Compton-Hobbs and the Protective Services Committee that we accept the report, as presented. Seconded by? Seconded by Councillor Winters. Discussion? None heard? All those...
Just again, Mayor, on my way here this evening to this meeting, I saw the RCMP out in full force, and it's concerning. So, we're sick of talking. We've been talking to years to the government, and really it's ramped up again. The numbers are high out there. There's illegal activity happening. There's intoxication, in certain areas around town. Seniors are living in fear. 10th Street is horrible. White Crescent is horrible, and it's concerning. And like I said, we're tired of talking. We need, there's elections coming up, so I hope someone's listening that this needs to be addressed. Public safety is huge here, and I know we're putting a community safety plan in place, and we're about to vote on hiring security once again. But it's concerning, and I would recommend anybody out there who sees any illegal activity to call the RCMP right away.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Okay, none being heard. All those in favor indicate with aye. Aye.
Aye.
Contrary-minded? Passed. You have two recommendations, Councillor
Yes, Mayor.
Compton-Hobbs? Yep, floor is yours.
The Protective Services Committee recommends that the council award a contract for mobile security patrol services in the observe and report style to Garda World at an hourly rate of $38.58, guard and vehicle included. The monthly rate would be $12,962.88 on average, not including any stat holidays.
Okay, moved by Councillor Compton-Hobbs that we award a contract to Garda World at the rate of $38.58 for guard and vehicle included, and the monthly rate will be $12,962.88 on average. Seconded by Councillor Winters. Discussion?
Mayor, again, sorry.
Go ahead.
I wanted to say, I've heard lots of negative and positive comments in the community, and I, for one, fully support this recommendation because I've saw Garda World parked over behind Service Canada, where there's many seniors on that area who feel some relief when they know that there's an extra set of eyes out there, and they can pick up the phone and call the police if there's something happening out there that shouldn't be. So, I saw Garda many times around the community, and I don't think it's a waste of money like some people do in the community. Another set of eyes that can report activity that shouldn't be happening is a good thing for the community. Is it the solution? Absolutely not. It's not the solution, but it certainly helps with that extra set of eyes out there.
Thank you. Just have a question. What was the rate we paid last year? Do you have any idea?
It was close to that.
Close to
I
that?
don't remember offhand.
And what does on average mean?
It was over
Well, it depends
12,000.
on how many days are in the month.
Okay, all right, so it's not a,
And if there's any stat holidays, because that would be
Yeah.
charged at an overtime rate, so that's
Okay.
their base
yeah, no, I
salary.
understand that part. I just wonder what the on average was.
No.
Councillor
I
Winters?
just want to ask a question, this money is coming from the security funding that we got? This is
Absolutely.
not on taxpayers' dollars, right? This
Absolutely
is
right.
money from the province.
$500,000 that we
That was given from the province, yeah.
from the province.
And
Thank
the
you.
balance in that account now is what, roughly? Any idea? Can we find out?
200
Should be
Two
around
of that.
$250, something like
200
that?
something you told us. at the
Somewhere around there?
meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we've expended $250,000 with security and some camera functions, camera things, and a couple other things that were done. So the rest of this money, and it is earmarked only for security enhancements. So, yep.
The only thing, Mayor, one more thing, I would like to see that the I chair the Protective Services Committee, but I would like to see the committee sit down and define the areas more, because Garda World don't need to be at the dock or up in the park or wherever. There's some hot spots, you know, in the valley that certainly needs to be monitored a lot
So-
more, and I'd like for the committee to sit down and discuss some of this
Yeah.
in the next committee of the whole, or...
Yeah, I'd suggest that as well, that we reach out to, there were some of the businesses that had reached out last year because of what the activity that was happening, and that information was relayed to the director, and that, so instead of setting a schedule, it might be a good idea to have that, you know, let people input as to, you know, businesses and people, where the areas are, and incorporate those right from the beginning. And I agree with you, like, down at the dock or dump or down the Northwest River Road is not our concerns. Deputy Mayor?
Thank you. More following on to that, I think if we're continuing this like we're all agreeing to do, is there something we can put out to the community so that the community knows when to call or what to look for, or who's going to respond when they do call, or what numbers? Just a PSA with information, kind of a news blast of information, what's to come from this initiation of the plan. And also for those businesses, is there something we can give them as a promo or just a piece of paper to say, this is the numbers to call, this is what to look for, this is the areas we are focusing on? I mean, just to give more information than not, so people are aware what they can and can't do, or what they can expect from this company.
And I think one of the important things is that we go back to call the police. You know, if there's an issue that's not safe or you're worried about safety, call the police. 896, right? 3383 or the
You're right.
1-800.
If we don't call the police,
Yeah.
these numbers are not
So-
captured,
Yeah.
and then it's not accurate as to what we see on the ground.
But
here.
I do agree, we need to put out more communication from the
Yeah.
town. You know, people are out there always asking questions.
Yeah.
What do you do? Where's the number? Blah, blah, blah. Even if we gotta put a PSA out every week, the same one, as long as we're putting it out there, we're communicating to the public, you know, this is what you do. At the end of the day, we're gonna want them to call the RCMP if it's, you know, a serious matter, illegal or whatever, but there is another line, 3322, and, you know, just what areas they're in.
Yeah. But that call then goes to the RCMP, right?
Yes,
Yeah. But I mean, maybe we can have a button on our website. You know, I'm not sure.
Just for clarity,
Yeah.
3322 is for municipal issues,
Right.
so not criminal.
Mhm.
If you see activity that's a criminal nature, call the RCMP directly, not 3322.
I know they've been calling that number in the past, 3322.
But we have been telling people to
Yeah.
call 3322 in the
We have
past.
been, yeah, for complaints.
Yes, but, sorry, not for criminal activity.
Oh, no, criminal activity with the
Just
RCMP.
call-
If you know it's criminal
Call-
activity.
Call the police directly.
Yeah.
Because the 3322 goes to our MEO, when our MEO works 40 hours a week. They're not out like the RCMP are.
Yeah, but the
24/7.
agreement with Valley Communications was that if there was an issue, it would go
Yeah.
to, they would call forward to the
Correct.
RCMP.
But that's just
Yeah.
a further delay.
Yes.
That's
Oh,
all.
no, absolutely, but I
We've
mean,
been telling the community to call
Yeah.
3322. We've been
Yeah.
really
but that
promoting it.
information should be, and I'm hoping it would continue to be that way.
Yeah.
They were calling the RCMP with that information.
Can I ask a question to follow up to that? If 3322 is not the number to call and the MEO is off or has done his 40 hours, does that ring out, or does?
That's where it goes, Valley.
It goes to Valley Communications,
Yeah.
yes, and then if it's
He
something needs to
assigns,
be
yeah.
investigated further or reacted to, then
Okay.
they put out a call to the RCMP.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I just don't want a call to be missed and playing
That's
around with
right.
jurisdiction. Oh, you know, can't call us, call this
No.
one, right? So as
No,
long as the
and
call is
our
captured.
notices have clearly stated when you should call 3322
Yes.
and when you should call the
So,
RCMP.
so then maybe, like I say, I don't know if we can look at doing that again, Councillor Compton Hobbs, on
think
our
so.
website with a PSA now that we are starting the security process, so people just understand.
Mhm.
But I think before you sit and decide where it is, if you only get 2 or 3 people at that meeting, then it's only 2 or 3 places generally. But I think there's lots of issues in terms of businesses. And it's not a security, private security force. It's just that extra,
Safety for the
yeah,
community.
extra set of eyes out around. And if that drive by, it's a deterrent, then that works out well too. So, all right. Any further discussion? Okay, none being heard. All those in favor indicate with aye. Aye. Contrary minded?
Aye.
Passed. Next one.
The Protective Services Committee recommends council approve in principle the municipal emergency management plan and authorize the mayor to sign on behalf of the town.
Okay, moved by Councillor Compton Hobbs and the Protective Services Committee that we accept approval in principle, I guess, of the municipal emergency management plan and authorize myself to sign on behalf of the town. Seconded by? Councillor Rumbold? It's getting worried there for a second. Okay, a discussion? Yeah, I just want to say, I was going to say it in Councillor Swarm, but thanks, Brad, Councillor, Director of Public Service, Public Protective Services. It's a lot of work, and the plans they're like a living document, so thanks for that, because as the past summer showed, we've referred to that plan a few too many times. Hopefully we'll have a much better season. So thank you. Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor indicate with aye.
Aye.
Aye. Contrary minded?
Aye.
Sorry. That's 2. I should cut you off on Councillor Brumfield. I apologize. Okay, none contrary minded heard, so it's passed. All right, we'll move to the approval of checks now. We'll pass the floor to the Deputy Mayor.
Wonderful, thank you, Mayor. The total this month to approve for checks is $309,666.13.
Okay, moved by Deputy Mayor Wallace and through the Finance and Minister and Policy Committee that we approve the checks of $309,666.13. Seconded by
I'll second.
Councillor Compton Hobbs. Discussion? Can I ask what the check to the curling club was for?
That was for that,
Piece of machinery.
The one.
that equipment that,
What number is that one?
I can't think of the word, the name of it.
28675.
Was it for the chiller?
Why would we pay directly to
I
him?
don't think it's the
It's our
chiller, not for
facility, right?
3,600 even.
No, I thought that was over 5,000, 5,500.
Yeah. I might be wrong. I don't know.
Okay. 28675 and it's 3,600.
Sorry, I forgot about this one. This was, this was an application that our
right.
Director of Community Services Recreation made
Gotcha.
to Year of
Okay.
the Sport program.
Okay.
And the town was awarded $3,600 for the curling club to provide fundings for people to avail of the sport. So this will take them through, I think the rest of this year, including this season and the beginning part of next season. And so that's being transferred to
Good.
them.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. Thank you.
Is that active
Yeah.
NL, Nadine?
No.
No,
our-
it's the year's sport with the.
Yeah.
tournaments.
Celebrate NL
Oh, okay, okay.
under Year of the Sport.
Any other questions? Okay. None being heard. All those in favor of approval of checks indicate with aye.
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 Contrary minded? Passed. Councillor's form, and I'm going to start with Councillor.
Okay, so I'm just gonna check out now because there's no point I'm here.
Okay, did you want to say anything in Councillor's Forum, Councillor Brumfield?
No, I'm just going to check out right now where I'm with the flu and all that, so
Okay.
but not the place to call in. Okay, so I'll talk to everyone later.
Feel better soon, Hayward. Okay. 245, yeah. Still in quorum. All right, Councillor Swan. Councillor Compton Hobbs.
I haven't got a lot to say. It's busy times for everyone. Lots going on in the community. The weather's been very strange. I want to send condolences to Dave Barron, the passing of Dave Barron, to his family. Well known in the community, and recently lost his wife. So condolences to Dave and to his family. Lots of recreation coming up around hockey. They're gearing up now to go out and travel to the All-Stars for the youth, so that's exciting for them. And just put out there that, the weather's been very weird this year, so anybody that's traveling on the ice, be extra cautious coming up in the next few weeks, because the weather's been really weird. And I'll just leave it at that, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Councillor Winters.
Thanks, Mayor. Yeah, again, I'd like to send condolences to Dave Barron and the Barron and Tuckashina families. Dave was a close friend, losing Clarice now, so I know they're going through a hard time, so just want to send a condolence to the family. The next one, just one more thing is, I'd like to say hats off to our Municipal Services Water and Sewer Division. They handled an issue on Friday that was pretty massive, with all the water runoff that we had and the minimal damage that did happen. I got to say, it could have been a lot worse. So, hats off to those guys and being on call the way you are and reacting the way you did. And that's everything.
Thank you, Councillor Winters. Councillor Rumbold.
Councillor Compton Hobbs says, I don't have a lot to say, and I'm like, that's okay, I've always got a lot to say. And I've said it before, when something is worth repeating, then I will repeat it. So
Denise, we got bingo.
definitely ditto to Councillor Winters, hats off to the employees that put all their hard work in with that water situation. It was messy for sure. Also like to add my condolences to the families of Mr. Barron, Mr. Elson, and Mr. Michelin, all who recently passed and have families here that are going through a tough time right now. I wanted to provide a little bit of clarity on two small items. The first one, because our town tax bills came out recently, I just think it's worth repeating that there were no increases to the residential mill rate this year for your property tax. So just to make sure that everybody, because sometimes I think things get missed, but this year was a year that the residential property tax, there was no increase to the mill rate. And so sometimes there's a little bit of misinformation that we want to get cleared up. The other thing, the town issued a boil water advisory, and if you're anything like me, you wonder what's the difference between an advisory and a warning or order, and so the difference, I had to look it up. I have no idea what turbidity was. I had to ask Google. So the thing is, we have a boil water advisory, which is different from a boil water order in the fact that we haven't actually been informed that there is a problem with our water. It's just that the testing hasn't come back yet. So we're hopeful that we will have the results before the end of the week, and if, fingers crossed, everything is great. But we appreciate it that it's an inconvenience to our residents, but better to be safe than sorry. And what turbidity means is cloudiness of the water. So there's a fun fact for the day. I wanted to mention Labrador North Chamber of Commerce has just put out a new publication called North 1941. It's geared towards newcomers to the area, but even if you're from here, multi-generation from here like some of us are, it's worth taking a look at their package because it's a beautiful glossy magazine online. gives some of the history of the town, tells you about where to eat, where it was recreation, accommodations. It's a traveler's, a visitor's, and a newcomer's guide. And so I would encourage everybody, check it out. It's on the Labrador North Chamber of Commerce's Facebook page. You can click on the link and see this beautiful publication. 2 other things. Access E11. If you can use the Tim Hortons app, you can use Access E11. I have heard it a lot of times. There's not everybody who's computer savvy. And those people, please continue to call 896-3322. But if you, 32321, sorry. But if you can use the Tim Hortons app, you can use Access E11, because I tried it for the very first time, brought some concerns forward. Super, super easy to use. You get an email back right away. You have a logged record of your concerns or complaints. So anybody out there who thinks, the town, I wonder if they know about this. Did anybody, see it? You can use that, and you'll definitely have your inquiry logged. And my final thing, if you're like me and you love politics, like I love politics, my husband is drove nuts with the news networks on my TV. So we're in a year of a federal, a provincial, and a municipal election. I wanted to say the very first thing I think that we heard was the resignation of Premier Furey. And so we wish him all the best in whatever the future brings to him. I think it's a return to medicine, and Lord knows we always need as many doctors in this province as we can. To MP Yvonne Jones, who has announced that she is not running for re-election. And now our latest MHA, Perry Trimper, who has announced that he is not running for re-election. So these are individuals who have given of themselves, put themselves forward into what sometimes seems like a thankless job. And I have nothing but respect for anybody who puts the time and effort in that these individuals have done. Whether you agree with somebody's politics or not, you cannot discount the fact that anybody who offers themselves for public service or public office, they're doing it when there's a great many people who won't step forward. So all the best in the future to Premier Andrew Furey, to MHA Perry Trimper, and to MP Yvonne Jones. I hope that you enjoy some relaxation and quiet days ahead. And that is it for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Rumble. Deputy Mayor.
Thank you. I'd like to give a huge congratulations to the Labrador North Chamber of Commerce for the launch of their first immigration summit. Truly, it was 2 days. It was jam-packed. It was amazing energy in the rooms. It was sharing, understanding, storytelling, empathy. During this, we quickly realized that we're more alike than we are different. And you do not lose your culture for sharing your culture. The more we share culture, whether it be those from here, sharing to everybody, you realize that those who move from all around the world, those who travel from everywhere around the world to immigrate to Canada and then choose Labrador, reminds us why we live in the big land and love being here. It was a wonderful conference, and look forward to next year already. So well done. A couple weeks ago, we lost a valuable teacher at Mealy Mountain Collegiate. Rob Kennedy was a pillar at the school, head of the math department, and a coach for the male soccer team, and just a colleague amongst his teachers. He supported many amongst his peers, as well as inspired all students in his presence. We send our sincere condolences to Tara and Jennifer, as well as his close family and friends in the community. Also, as mentioned earlier, our sincere condolences to the Barron, Tuktashina, and Elson families for their loss as well. Today I attended the International Women's Day Luncheon. Now that was originally set for March 8th, which was the International Women's Day, but we had a snowstorm here in town and it was scheduled for this afternoon, lunchtime at the Legion. So we were in a room amongst many strong, independent, empowered, bright, supportive, caring women. And when you're in a room like that, you know you're in the right room. Because truly, great things can happen when you're surrounded in that company. And here in Happy Valley Goose Bay, not only rooms of women like that, but there are so many volunteers that give so much, and we're really fortunate to be in that company. Today was a day for everyone to get together to share conversations over lunch, but it was also a day to announce the Malcolm Status of Women's Award. It is the Agent of Inspiration, Influence, and Integrity Award, and the recipient of this award was Isla Strachan. So we were extremely proud to see my sister receive this award, nominated 3 times. So she's a passionate advocate for women and gender diverse people here in Labrador, challenging systemic barriers to equitable health care. She has amplified the voices of those impacted by harmful OBGYN practices and ignited real change. And we all know change is needed. She embodies resilience and proves that change is possible and systemic barriers can be overcome. Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Wells. Yep, I just have a few things. I'd just like to say that congratulate the Sharing Cultures event that took place at Lawrence O'Brien. Unfortunately, I was at another event and wasn't able to attend, but I have attended in the past, and it's always a great evening. And as the Deputy Mayor alluded, the culture that we have and the diversity of culture we have in this community is amazing. Want to send a shout out to the Pentecostal congregation. They hosted pastors and their families from around Labrador here in town, and I was fortunate enough to be able to bring greetings on behalf of council and the town to that, and they looked like they were going to have a very enjoyable weekend. I've already said thank you to the Director of Protective Services for Community Emergency Plan. Everybody takes plans for granted, but when you need to plan, it's critical, and it's important to have updated plans, so that's great. Just going to put out, we have a few months left now, not many months left, I guess, as we look ahead to municipal elections. I won't speak to the other elections yet, but we do have municipal elections coming up, and I'm encouraging everybody to take that time to consider jumping into the community's realm, into the municipal elections. It is quite an honor, but also you get a lot of satisfaction out of it from serving your community. One thing I will tell you though, if you're thinking about it, it takes an awful lot of time, and that's time away from your family, time away from what other stuff that you do. But to be effective, and I have to say, sat on council many years ago as well, but this council, the entire council, I hope that's not bad, but this entire council, I would say that it's strange to have 2 folks not here tonight, but the participation in all our meetings and all the council sessions has been, I would say, upwards to the 90 or higher % which is great. But it does take a lot of time, but it is very rewarding, as Councillor Rumbold has said. I would just like, we have a provincial election ongoing, as well now, leadership to replace Premier Fury, and I also wish him every bit of luck and success in his, and thank him for his incorporation, I guess, of things with the town. Sometimes we didn't agree eye to eye all the time, but it was good. To the provincial election, I would, if you get an opportunity or a chance to meet his successor, or one of the gentlemen, I guess we will have a John Premier, but if you get a chance, ask them about public safety in our community, and ask them about things along that lines, and take them to task. And I think it's important that we don't lose what we did have good momentum moving with the Premier, but I would suggest that we need that momentum to continue. As Councillor Compton-Hobbs has said, we still have a situation around town, and we don't want to lose sight of that. So one of those 2 gentlemen will be the next Premier until an election is called. So I would challenge you when they're out shaking hands, ask them their questions. And outside of that, I have nothing else to bring to the floor. Staff?
I'll go with me, Mayor, thanks.
Okay. It's always bad when you hear the fire pagers go off and you hear the sirens and our fire chief runs out of the room, so I hope things are safe. T.O.
I'd just like to thank our staff as well for Friday night's efforts. There were staff actually out until 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning trying to clear water, pump water, clear drains, move snow, do whatever they can to help as many residents as they could. They weren't worried about the roads and the situation they were in. They were worried about the residents. We had 2 employees who were on the go, I think about 7 hours, going from house to house of affected people and trying to assist them and deal with their issues and find out what's going on. So it was a great effort, and it was unprecedented for, you know, the town. We've had a very unusual winter, and it's possible that this could happen again. So unfortunately, that's the situation we're in with climate change. So the staff did what they could with what they had, and we also had a contractor in town that was out actually for that whole week trying to clear drains and stuff, and you will notice a huge mess around town. We're doing what we can.
Okay, that's great. And just before I do close, I do want to send special condolences to Dave Barron's family, but also to the mayor of Wabush. That's his brother, so good friend Ron, and I want to send condolences out from us to him as well. And they were thinking about him. Anything else from you guys? No? All right. Okay, so none being heard, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn by Councillor Pomeroy, or Councillor Pomeroy, he's not even here. Councillor Compton Hobbs, and seconded by Councillor Rumble. All those in favour indicate with aye.
Aye.
Aye. Contrabanded, meeting's adjourned.
You won't know if we're on or not, though.
We're still on, guys, we're still on.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say.
Next time she can sit there.
I need a couple minutes, first, there's a couple